evacuated, and they were telling you could go online. We were staying with some friends, and you could go online and register for FEMA, so we did. And I got a phone call, and an inspector said went out to my place, and he had pictures, and so I get my letter from him denying, saying that my house was livable.
And this is your kitchen right here, right?
Yeah. And I said, well, then you live in it. I said, well, I think we should get another adjuster out here because it's obviously not livable. Well, the second one came and called me, goes, well, you were right, it's not livable. Well, we can't get you any help. I said, well, why is that? He said, well, you have insurance. I said, well, yeah, but insurance isn't going to pay me for everything. And what about housing? And basically told me you choose to live on the Gulf Coast. You said I did go to those FEMA disaster centers that were set up, but I mean they could never get any. I'm trying to get back home. I'm working here. My son's going to school. We are residents here. We should qualify for a FEMA. I've never been called. My sister's never been called. Neither did my mom. We never.
It's not like you're just unemployed looking for a handout. I mean, you're a single mother. Your son is in high school. You've been commuting an hour and a half every day for how many months?
Since September.
And you're just looking for a little leg up so that you can get back on your feet.
And I don't need it a long time. I'm trying to get my stuff in order. I'm trying to get back home. But it's like I don't fall into a category.
And if you brought your home in here and put it on the ground, would you be able to get your utilities hooked up?
No, sir.
So even though you are able to buy a home and you have insurance, if you bring it in here and try to live in it, you're going to be living in the dark.
Correct. Won't get electricity. In the process of how they're doing it is they're going to drill the pollens into the concrete. Then they have to get 2 cranes to lift up the double wide and set it up there.
And how long is this going to take?
I don't know. And then once the trailer, probably I'm hoping, 2 or 3 months. I'm hoping by the spring. But then once the trailer gets in the air, the manufacturer of the trailer has to come do what they call their trim out work.
So during all that time, you need a place to live.
Yes, sir.
And that's where FEMA is supposed to come in. But instead they tell you that this is livable, or hey, you suffer the consequences if you want to live on the Gulf Coast.
But I don't understand. I've heard of people tell me since that FEMA put them up in a motel or they gave them X amount of money to go out and rent them an apartment. I don't understand why I wasn't given
Meanwhile,
anything.
a Cameron family says the dark cloud surrounding them is finally on its way out after the Silverlining Foundation gave them a place to stay. KPLC's Amanda Ward tells us the family found hope in something as simple as a travel trailer.
This is what's left of Leanne Stewart's home. Hurricane Ike turned her elevated double wide into this pile of rubble that FEMA allegedly calls livable.
So therefore I was denied any assistance, whether it be housing or, whatever.
They said that was livable.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they did.
Stewart used her insurance money to purchase another 1,800 square foot home like the one she used to have. But to elevate it again, which insurance doesn't cover, is going to cost her close to $50,000. But finally, after all this time, Leanne Stewart found the silver lining following the storm. Michael Turner, founder of the Silverlining Foundation, gave them a free travel trailer. Her neighbor is letting her rest it on her slab. And as he handed her the keys to this travel trailer, Leanne is just so glad she can now play a bigger role in rebuilding her home.
Because I can look out the window and see what's going on. I'll know, how far they've gotten, if they need something, if they have a question. And I'm right here at work. I'm at the school. It's just where I need to be.
And it's the little things that bring a smile to her face.
When you're living in a camper and you get a real size refrigerator and a real toilet, it's like you were just handed $1 million.
And Leanne's not the only one excited. After a 3-year journey, this is the first travel trailer for Turner to hand over.
When Hurricane Rita destroyed the manufactured home community that my company owns in Lake Charles, I worked with FEMA for about a week, and I realized that the system that they have is so broken, it can't be fixed. And I drove home and I told my wife, I said, Kira, I'm going to change the way disaster housing is handled in the United States.
3 years later, Turner proves himself right, helping his first family.